Doc Leesner here, the podcasting beast from the East. With the Professor John Gotti, the King of Anji, the Troll Master, the Data Analyzing Ninja, the Conqueror of his own fate, Professor Omega, right? The Cleaner, the best technical machine known to podcasting. Sir.
You knew what you said. You knew what you wrote. And I can't say what it was over the air because I will give myself a technical for saying it. But I am the best podcasting machine, the least hype machine, and the wise man for your rating, defending undisputed podcasting world champion of the world, Los Tranquilo himself, Doc Elidolo. How's it going, man?
The guy who will find a way because he has the will to get a technical.
Today, that is completely true.
But I'm doing pretty good, man. You know what? This last week to 2 weeks of the month, we have been on fire with the reads. It's very, very unfortunate, some of them, but some of them are just like spot on. And I love how it's like we're first, right?
Yeah.
I was first to say, hey, you put me on the spot, said, hey, who should be the MVP? I said Tommy, and I said Jonathan Taylor. I think I said Jonathan Taylor first.
No,
but
you said
Tom Brady.
You said Tom first, then you said Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor, yes. I can't remember who the third person was, but it kind of doesn't matter because
It really
those
doesn't.
two are in it. But now, just yesterday, I was just saying how Joe Judge is not going to take the fall for the New York Football Giants. He's not going to take the fall.
The way that they played on Monday, they're the New Jersey Football Giants.
Oh, now it's New Jersey. Kapow! New York Giants.
Shout out
part
to Tom
ways.
Grassi for that line, by the way.
Yeah. Giants part ways with offensive coordinator Jason Garrett on Tuesday, which they're saying ending the frustrating run with the Giants offense. Personally,
it wasn't just the offense.
It wasn't just the offense. I mean, the defensive coordinator did the best he could with what he had. I mean, but they're top five though, and that's where it's okay for him. The Giants defense is top five. The offense just couldn't get it done. And you mentioned it yesterday. You said, "Look who's going to take over for the Clapper." Oh my goodness, how perfect and apropos
Yep.
that it's Thanksgiving
Yep.
week and a man named Freddie Kitchens is taking over.
What a horrible coincidence.
It is, but how funny is that? Freddie
It's
Kitchens
actually pretty
taking over.
hilarious, actually. I'm not gonna lie.
It is, but I doubt that Jason Garrett is going to be done. But I believe, of course, that Freddie Kitchens is going to somehow make the Giants play a little better. Not much better, but a little bit better.
But I
wouldn't be
said this yesterday
surprised.
too. The Giants offense had so many injuries this year.
True.
It's hard to say, well, we expect you to be better. Well, all of our top weapons are hurt.
Yeah.
They don't have any reps. What do you expect?
Right.
I'm not defending the firing. I'm justifying why in some aspects this could be an unfair firing, but someone had to fall on the sword.
Yeah, and that's definitely Jason Garrett, which is very unfortunate because, again, I mean, when you look at it, Tom was on fire.
Yep.
Daniel Jones, I mean, they started out really good, and maybe it's because they had that first drive stall, right, and then the next drive after the turnover, they had to kick the field goal, so the defense is putting them in good spots, but they just couldn't get it done. I'm assuming that's part of it. But when you look at that, I mean, despite the fact that the defense is top five, number one, Tom had all day to throw on certain passes.
Yep.
There was one play I think I was watching Kevin Hart, who was on with Eli and Peyton, and he said, Peyton Manning said, I mean, Kevin, you could go out there and complete a pass if you had as much time as Tom Brady just had. He said Tom had a chance to look at Gronk, who was his first option, look at his second option, go back to a third option, look back at Gronk, who's still crossing the field, go back to his fifth option, and then throw it back to Gronk. He just had so much time. So that's on the defense. Offensively, yes, Daniel Jones threw two picks. One was really, really bad.
Yep.
But when you look at it, it was a 10-10 ball game, 17-10, right before the half. The Bucks got a chance to go in. Saquon Barkley, 6 carries. John Ross, 1 carry. Devontae Booker, 3 carries. And Daniel Jones ran the option for whatever reason 3 times. So we're talking about a total of 13 runs for a game that was close.
Yep.
It was a close game, but they abandoned the run, and this is without Vita Vea, their best run stuffing tackle. You have a offensive line that was doing horrible
Yep.
versus the pass. So if he did get fired, it was because he was trying to get Daniel Jones to pass the ball too much when they really should have been relying heavily on the run game. Devontae Booker should have had carries upon carries upon carries. But despite everything, that offensive line for the Giants only gave up 2 sacks. So despite how bad the rush was, they only gave up 2 sacks.
Exactly.
Even though he was running for his life, they only gave up 2 sacks. So Joe Judge probably will get one more year. I think Freddie Kitchens again will turn it around and help them do better. I think we'll get another situation where um, Freddie Kitchens will get a lot of the credit, and Joe Judge will. We'll see. But like I said yesterday, with the Giants and the Jets both having 2 picks within the first top 10 picks, possibly, if I'm Gettleman,
Time to tank.
boot. No, I wouldn't even. I would boot him out of there. It's time to get him out of there.
It
This is
would have
your
been a perfect
opportunity.
opportunity right now to do it.
Yeah, get him out of there. But we'll see what happens. But
But we had
the
other
clapper
news
out.
that happened. Yes.
Surprisingly, Adrian Peterson has been waived by the Tennessee Titans, and they wound up bringing Golden Tate off the practice squad. So
Well, they need receiving help.
they do, and again, it's not like they don't have running backs there. I think the Titans have running backs. I think they signed Adrian Peterson, who played pretty well. I mean, it
Yeah,
wasn't.
he played well. It's not like of course, people say that he got
Yeah,
waived. Well, Wave, he didn't play well. No, he played
uh,
well. It's
he
not
played
bad.
pretty good. I mean, they're not running anybody as much as they ran Henry, of
Which
course.
is what I said after the injury happened. That
Yeah,
they're
they're
going to
not running
focus more on the
anyone,
pass.
which they shouldn't, because they have some running backs. I like Jeremy McNichols. I like
Hmm.
McNichols a lot. I think again, I kind of wish that we had a chance to keep him, but we didn't. We had a big discrepancy or whatever. But I'm not sure why they brought Adrian Peterson in the first place. I think that's where I got confused, because they have Dontrell Hilliard, they have Deontay Foreman. Um, they actually did run the ball quite some time, but I think 9 carries for Adrian Peterson, 7 for Hilliard, 7 for Foreman. I just don't think they can get any, I guess, traction. It's kind of like
Yes.
what Leonard Fournette was saying, what Ronald Jones was saying. It's like splitting carries with people is tough because you never get that momentum going.
Hmm.
But
And by the way, all three of those running backs that you mentioned only average about 3 yards of carry this season. with the Titans.
Right. So yeah, I'm not sure. And it's just one of those things where they're gonna have to figure that out. But Adrian Peterson waived from the Titans. We'll see if someone else picks him up to end the season. I don't know where he would go, but at least people know that he still has some,
Yeah, he
has
still
some run left.
has some mileage in the tank. Like it's not like
Yeah,
he didn't have it. It was just his name had taboo over it.
exactly. But Johnny, we got some QB index
No, we
action.
got power rankings.
Power rankings. Power freaking rankings. Oh
We
my
got
goodness.
the power rankings that happen.
Power
QB
freaking
Indexer is
rankings.
for another day.
Another day. I don't know what made me pull that up. Yes, power freaking rankings. We got number one. Moving back up to the number one spots from number four is the Arizona Cardinals. Oh,
Mainly because a
Colt
lot of teams
McCoy.
lost.
Yeah, and I mean Colt McCoy really did his thing this weekend. Um, and it's funny because Colt McCoy is one of those guys where like you would ask like, oh, why isn't like Colin Kaepernick playing? He can be better than Colt McCoy. Like, he's one of those guys that you would throw in for cap
I
option.
wouldn't say Colt McCoy is bad. There's some.
People, no, not bad, but
Oh, okay.
for people that Colin Kaepernick are potentially better than, I think Colt
You
McCoy
you
would
want me to
fall
tell you
into that.
why they would say that? Because all they do is looking at stats.
True.
That's all they're looking at.
No, that's
That's all that
true.
they're looking
That's
at.
true. Number two, falling down from number one, the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, but it
Who
was the best.
I,
It was like the second best entertaining game of the weekend, though, hands down.
Yeah, I mean they lost on a field goal at the end. They don't deserve to drop too many slots. That's pretty good. Number three, rising up from six, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers finally ending their two game losing streak. They need
Yep.
to get a 2-game win streak, but in the 2-game losing streak, I mean I don't know about going up 3 slots for beating the Giants, um,
I mean, it was a pretty
but
convincing win, though.
yeah, but we're going on the road to play the Colts,
Now
who
that's
are
going to be a
preparing.
fun game to watch.
We'll probably get clapped,
Nope,
but that's neither
nope,
here nor there.
nope, nope,
It's okay. All right. Kansas
you
City
won't.
Chiefs number four.
You can't do
Moving
that.
up
You know what
to
you're gonna
three.
do.
I didn't say it. No, I didn't say anything. I just said they're probably gonna get clapped. But they're moving up. Previously ranked number 7 to number 4, the Kansas City Chiefs, who
Convincing win against the Cowboys, who
against them boys.
should have been this should have been a much more entertaining game according
Should have
to
been.
the experts, and it turned into we got the Cowboys of old,
And now we have the Cowboys at number 5.
which
Who
honestly
dropped?
I think they should have went down at least one more slot.
I can agree with that. The only reason they probably didn't go down 2 more slots is because the number 17 played so bad. But number 6, I agree, should be number 5 because the New England Patriots,
Yep.
I want to say, are back.
I want to say the sleeping giant has awakened.
Yeah. Well, I was very impressed with Mac Jones, and I've been saying it all season long, and even in the preseason, I was like so excited for Mac Jones because I felt like he is a perfect quarterback in that system. We always talk about system quarterbacks. Cam obviously was a transitional quarterback there, coming in, giving veteran presence, but this offense was never good for him.
I can agree
'Cause
with
he's
that
a
statement.
I think Cam is one. Cam, I know we always talk about the arm strength and is he still doing it, the leg strength, but Mac Jones is the perfect quarterback for this system, and it's just showing so far. But shout out to the Patriots here. And then number 7, we got the Buffalo Bills, who they just didn't show up to play.
Nope. Period.
Um, it just was a bad game all around. A lot of turnovers, a lot of sloppy play. I know it was raining, but it was just really bad
That's not
all
an excuse
around.
in football.
All
That's not an
around, really
excuse.
bad. No, I agree. I agree. Jonathan Taylor had 5 touchdowns. It was really bad. Um, but Number 8, we got the Tennessee Titans falling from number 2, which I don't
I
even know why
mean,
they went up to number 2.
if the Buffalo Bills play really bad, the Titans
Yeah.
threw 4 interceptions. Ryan Tannehill, yikes!
Yeah. He did. He did. And their running game is just not doing it. So
Nope.
we'll have to wait and see what happens. Number 9, we had the Los Angeles Rams.
Who
So
just so happened to settle. That is
yeah,
breaking news. Seven hundred and
I
ninety
did see that.
million dollars to settle a lawsuit because of the move to LA from St. Louis.
I can understand that. I can understand how you would be kind of mad about that. I feel them. And then rounded off at number 10, you have the Minnesota Vikings, who got the great win over the Packers. So they went up 4 slots. Good win for the Vikings.
Yep.
Great win for the Vikings.
Others to note: the Colts went up to number 12 from 15.
Hmm.
Ravens dropped
The
3
Ravens
slots.
finally outside of the top 10. They've been in the top 10 for a little while there. Even though they're 7-3, they're probably one of the only 7-3 teams down here. Um, which it's really surprising.
Again,
But
honestly, the Colts played the Ravens better on that Monday night game.
true.
Had
And the
the Ravens had the Colts not choke on defense in that fourth quarter into overtime, they would have had a 7-4 record right now.
and I'm actually surprised that the Ravens dropped with a win, but when I look at the teams ahead of them, it makes
It
sense
does make sense because we had teams who won convincingly
convincingly.
or
Which
against top tier talent.
which that right there is a great segued statement. They won more convincingly. And that brings us directly to college football playoffs. As we had some shuffling, we had a little bit of movement
A little
as
bit.
the new number 2 team in the country, the Ohio State Buckeyes,
OHIO.
and the Alabama Crimson Tide falling down to number 3. Cincinnati finally, finally, finally is in the top 4. Please let them boys win and stay in. Michigan number 5, number 6. We have Notre Dame. Do we have any other unbeaten teams? UTSA.
They're
But
not
that's
gonna.
just not
They're not.
happening.
No.
Yeah, that's just not happening.
No.
That's why I said we really, really need something new.
Well, it's never gonna
Maybe,
change because as long as there's power conferences, uh, schools out there, teams like UTSA isn't going to make it into
yeah.
that
So,
power conversation.
and that's the thing that stinks. Like the way it used
In
to be. Like,
fact, expanding it, not to cut you off, will actually take Cincinnati out of the tournament.
no, it wouldn't. It should reward the people who are
I
at the top. Clearly,
I know this, Doc. You know this. The people listening on this incredible podcast on Anchor and your favorite podcasting applications know this as well too. But the committee is looking for matchups that's going to generate revenue.
I think the committee needs to be dissolved. We need
I
we
think
need
there
to,
needs to be. It's
because
a
you can
lot of things
easily
that need
make
to happen.
money with this, right? You can easily make money. You can easily just say, hey, instead of pairing people who are like, I mean, you could just create more bowl games. I mean, who cares about the bowl games, right? It's like you could literally just say, let's say we went 1 through 8,
Mhm.
right? 1 through 8, and you just give those Rose Bowl, Orange Bowl, Peach Bowl, whatever. Those will just be the bowls. So not only are those teams winning the bowl game, but they're moving on in the college football playoffs. So it's
They're
like,
moving on to Cincinnati.
yeah, like it's like you're just giving them an opportunity to play because this is how they're going to play on the next level anyway. So,
Yep.
um, and this gives people an opportunity to number one rise their draft stock because you need to have more tape. Um, and teams in the NFL are going to know like how do people play in a series. So I think it would be good, but that's just my opinion. But Georgia holding strong, number one. Ohio State again holding, yeah, claiming that number two spot. Alabama just did not look good
No.
this past weekend, and although they won, it just wasn't as convincingly as the other teams that are in the top four. So I'm gonna be looking really closely at some of these games this weekend on Friday.
And
Actually,
Friday is a lot of them on
yeah,
Friday, and
and then Saturday, yeah.
yep,
So Friday, Cincinnati plays East Carolina, which East Carolina could play the spoil. That would be
that'll
a heartbreaker.
stink. That'll
Yeah,
stink.
that'll
That'll
be
be
a big
so
time
upsetting.
heartbreaker. But then you have Georgia versus Georgia Tech, which is these are a rivalry weekend. Georgia versus Georgia Tech. You got
Yep.
Ohio State at
Versus Michigan.
Michigan.
Yep.
And then
At the
you
big
have number
house,
three, Alabama at Auburn.
which can
Always a
always become a
tough one.
spoiler. Yep.
Yes, number six, Notre Dame at Stanford. Number 10, Oklahoma playing number seven, Oklahoma State. So it's going to be interesting to say the least. Um, even though they're not going to make it to the um, playoffs, obviously UTSA at North Texas for the chance to go undefeated.
Yep.
I think that's pretty awesome by itself. And maybe next season they'll be ranked a little higher to start the season. Maybe they start recruiting some better players, and they go from there. But if Alabama loses,
Then they're then they're gonna be number 4.
no, no, that's it. That would be it.
I hope so.
That would be it. If that's not it, I probably won't watch college football anymore. And I love Alabama. I really love Alabama, but if that happens, I probably won't be watching any more college football. I'll just give up on it.
Alabama loses and Cincinnati drops to number 6.
Right? Yeah. 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 Exactly. Um, but the
Oh,
last bit of
oh,
news,
oh, I thought that was Alabama. Sorry. Are you gonna fix it? No.
no. So the last bit of news, and this is something that I said, which kind of stinks, but Rockets are considering firing Stephen Silas. It's so frustrating to me. And I guess it's because the Kings fired Luke Walton.
Yep.
Um, there's a couple people struggling. Obviously, the Lakers are struggling now. How long will Frank Vogel hold his
Please. The
seat?
way that they played that game yesterday, they should have freaking won it.
Oh yeah, I agree. I can agree with that. Dwayne
Bro, but the Knicks
Casey's.
won it. Who gives a crap that they won it?
I feel like Dwayne Casey's always on the hot seat, but I feel so bad for Steven Silas right now. They're 1-15 last season. Obviously, they went on a 20 whatever game losing streak. It's just not working for him.
Yep.
I can't say whether it's him or the explosion of youth that they have. When I think back to this is giving me Golden State Warrior vibes. When they had a young Steph and a young Clay, and they were just trying to build it all together. Um, and I guess Steven Silas would be representing Mark Jackson in this situation, which I hate, but I don't think he should get fired, man. It's too
Now,
early.
are
It's
you
only the
saying
second
that
year.
now only to say, man, as soon as they leave Houston, I don't care anymore?
Well, no, because I mean, I was really so we had opportunities to bring in other coaches. But when you have a young, fresh coach, I mean, I think he's in his early 40s, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
Um, and he's not, he's 48 actually. When he's not, somebody that's not accustomed to being on, hey, losing teams, but the way this has gone is really, really bad. Um, and I wouldn't even know who they would bring in. I know John Lucas would take over. John Lucas is a great coach, but I just don't know why it's like this. Um, is it the? It's not the personnel because they're a young, hungry team. It's so weird. I'm not sure.
Oh
It
no,
just
I
gave me
was telling you why, but I'm not gonna say it over the air.
that doesn't make any sense though. Why are
I
we so?
know it doesn't make any sense.
It's so bad. Can't even watch them. It's so bad.
I know you want to start watching the G League team. In fact,
I might as well. I might as well. I mean, we're 1-16, bro.
yeah,
1-16.
game losing streak.
The other night, no Rockets scored over 9 points.
Yikes!
No starting Rockets scored over 9
Yes.
points. But I digress. I don't even know who they would even pick up if I don't think there's anybody. There's gonna be a probably aging vet, somebody that we don't want to see, like a Van Gundy or
Yep.
oh my god.
Yep.
But Johnny, I know that people heard this podcast on their favorite podcast platform, but if they didn't, they can always go to our website at www.debateamongstfriends.com to review this episode as well as all the previous. We will be taking tomorrow to give thanks.
Yes.
All right. And we want to thank all you listeners out there for your continued support. There will be no preview of Thursday Night Football, but we will come back and review it. If you have some takes, obviously you can always leave them on our social media or leave a comment on this particular episode. But be sure to tune in Friday for more news, more analysis, and the reads. Clap on a clapper.